Downton Abbey, A New Era has hit theaters. Here's my spoiler light review of Downton Abbey, A New Era. A little backstory. Downton Abbey was a hit series that most of us know about or have heard about that ran for 6 seasons and ended in 2015. The beginning of this film catches you up with the history of the franchise. In 2019, a feature film was released centering around the Crawleys, an aristocratic family and their staff as they prepare for a royal visit. Now, I had not watched the series, although I am familiar with the series, but I didn't watch it live. I plan to catch up because it is available, I believe, on Netflix or one of the streaming services. But recently I saw the 2019 film. It was re-released in theaters near me in anticipation for this one. And I wanted to see if I had to be familiar with the franchise to enjoy the movie. And seeing that one, I didn't think you needed to be familiar to get the sense of what's going on. I got the jokes of the first film, and most of them, and I got familiar with the relationships between the characters. Seeing the 2019 film, I didn't think that you had to be familiar with the series to enjoy the franchise. But seeing this version, A New Era, I think it's more for the Downton Abbey fans, in my opinion, than for pedestrians watching or just getting familiar with the Crawley family. In this one, I think this is more for the built-in audience, because I think you have to be familiar with the character dynamics and arcs and storylines to really get this sequel. Many of the actors from the series and the 2019 film reprised their roles in this one, with Dominique West joining the cast. Now, I gotta say, the 2019 film was better than this one, but this one isn't bad. This didn't have much drama though, and that's what detached me from the film. There really weren't any major stakes, or not any that will draw you into the story. Things just seem to happen from scene to scene, sort of like maybe it was sort of episodic in a way. There just weren't any stakes that kept your interest. So New Era takes place in 1928, and Downton's feeling some of the financial pressures of the Depression. The Crawley Granthams, pardon me if I don't know some of the lingo, but the Crawley Granthams are paid handsomely to allow a silent movie to be filmed on the estate. But midway through filming, Hollywood producers called the set and shut down the film because silent movies are becoming defunct or a thing of the past, and talkies are making way for new Hollywood. They're cheaper to make, and they profit more. When Hollywood realizes that the jazz singer, one of the first talkies, has profited a lot of money, then there's interest in talkies, and so silent movies are becoming a thing of the past. So they shut down the movie. And then Lady Mary, played by Michelle Dockery, does voiceover work for the maven of the film, the more bankable stars during the silent film era, but her voice is annoying, and so Lady Mary steps in to provide voice work to save the film. Meanwhile, the male lead of this silent film, he's sexy, he's charismatic, and he's openly gay, played by Dominic West. He's a Brit who left because he couldn't be free. He left to go to Hollywood where he's openly gay. He is on set when he's not filming scenes. He's pretty much flirting and lurking and feeling Tom Branson, who is still in the closet. A lot of people don't know that he is gay, but somehow Dominic West does, and he like flirts with him and tries to let him know that there are places in the world where he can be free, particularly Hollywood, even at this time in the late 20s. And Tom Branson's a staffer. The entire movie, you know, Dominic West's character is like lurking and watching and admiring Tom Branson. And he, once they're finished or just about finished filming, he asks Tom to quit his job at Downton, move to Hollywood with him, to be his live-in butler, among other things. They haven't kissed, they haven't gone on a date, they haven't done anything. He just says, yeah, come live with me, I'll give you a better life. It's easier for our kind in Hollywood. And he leaves Tom with that to decide. Now, the Dowager Countess Grantham, played by Maggie Smith, is nearing her final hours. She knows that she is passing on soon. She actually hates movies. These are things you've seen, you've probably seen in the trailer. She doesn't like Hollywood, but she spends most of her time in bed while they're filming this movie. Elizabeth McGovern plays Cora Grantham, and she has a health scare. Her husband, Robert Grantham, jets off to handle, her husband, Robert Grantham, played by Hugh Bonneville, jets off to handle the affairs of the Dowager Countess, who was recently endowed a villa in the south of France. That's also in the trailer. He thinks for half the movie that the man wheeling his villa to his mother could be his father. The staff in this film wasn't as active as they were in the 2019 film, but they have some really funny moments and a few good scenes, but they just aren't pivotal like they were the last time. Mr. Carson pretty much gets all of the funny lines. I mean, they seem so secondary, but there is like a really big scene with all of the staff in the end, which I thought was brilliant. But this film just has no tension. It has no real stakes, no drama. And the score wasn't as operatically dramatic as the 2019 film. The 2019 film has one of the best scores out there. I royally enjoyed the first score. This one wasn't as good. The costumes were better here though, and I think because the times were changing, you still get a feel of the 20s. They were really great pieces, but they were a little understated than they were in the first film, and I think that's because this time they're going through the financial pressures of the Depression. So I think it was a little understated, but they were better than the first film in my opinion. But I noticed they were overdressed in the sense that the exterior shots showed in some of the exterior shots, it showed that it was springtime because I saw cherry blossoms and rosebuds when they were wearing overcoats, gloves, and hats for a lot of the exterior shots. And then some exterior shots, like the trees weren't bare or harvest colored like they would be in winter and autumn, and so I thought that was strange. I just thought those exterior shots against what they were wearing, against the costumes, just was unbalanced. But there are some beautiful cinematic shots, specifically the aerial shots when you see the massive estate and how beautiful and aesthetically beautiful and manicured it is. There were some really beautiful shots. There were shots on the beaches in the south of France and on the water. There's this really beautiful scene on the water when they're on a boat. I thought that was a really beautiful scene. The estate, villa rather, that the dowager countess is being willed. That was just a beautiful estate. I loved the costumes that they were wearing in those scenes. Very beautiful. Like, there is this like ethereal, this beautiful funeral procession that was filmed. It is so beautiful. The angles and the score, the music that was paired with the shot. It's so beautiful. One of the best scenes of the film. I love that part. Just really gorgeous shots. Overall, I would rate this film a C. I think it was okay. It just wasn't fantastic. But I think the built-in audience will get this film. I just don't think that if you're joining this late that you will get it. But thank you so much if you stuck around this long. I certainly appreciate you. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, peace.